At the University of Illinois Library in Urbana, in the Rare Books and Special Collections section, accessibility seems to be the word. One of the highlights among the volumes of paper stored in special collections has to be those of famed author H.G. Wells.
And it is about 150 cubic feet of material. The collection contains his original manuscripts, about 150 of them.
Handwritten notes and letters are just a part of this collection, spanning 50 years of Wells' career. Included are some of his whimsical creations, such as these cartoons drawn to entertain family and friends.
This particular one is of a occasion when they harvest a very large marrow from their garden at Heatherley. Here's one from the period where he had just in 1895 published The Time Machine and was excited about the process of publishing and describes the stages in a kind of a circular fashion. The Sandburg collection is another 150 cubic feet of the Illinois poet Carl Sandburg. We acquired all of his materials that were research interest. He had a different approach, wrote very quickly and rapidly with a shorthand which amounted to simply omitting the vowels. Much of his poetry, and one of the pages that you might see would show the way he would do a very brief note to himself, which was later published in complete form.
In addition to gathering the papers of particular authors, the library, as one would expect, also houses some rare and unusual books.
Began sometime in the 1940s when Dean Robert Downs decided to pull together all the antiquarian book collections on campus. Let me start with something that relates to the T.W. Baldwin collection in Shakespeare, and that is the Shakespeare First Folio. The Shakespeare First Folio is the first publication of Shakespeare's plays. This volume is extremely rare. It was found in an old English country home. We acquired it, and there are only 10 or 12 copies in the United States. We have here a manuscript. This is Washington Irving's The Alhambra, which was written while he was in Spain, living in Granada at the Alhambra. We have an 18th century cookery book. This is a fun book because the page I have it open to tells us how to pickle barberries. Here we have March 25th, 1735, how to make malt liquor.
There's the entire first edition of Charles Dickens' Pickwick Papers, originally sold on London newsstands during the 19th century. Here's a German book on horsemanship. And this is one of the few remaining copies of a government document published in 1945 that describes how the atomic bomb was made. But all these books and collections, along with many others stored here, are not locked away only for the enjoyment of scholars and historians.
It's a coronation book, which is a very rare text, especially an illuminated one. There's only 3 French illuminated ones in the world, one in Paris, one in London, and one in Urbana, Illinois. But what's interesting about it for our purposes,
we don't hide them away in museum fashion, but instead we encourage people to use our collections. And so can the general public. We've had Girl Scout troops come up here. We have had 3rd graders, we have had senior citizens, and about everything in between.
And now technology is being employed to make the collections accessible to the world by way of the Internet.
One of the big things that we are doing and can do is digitize materials, is scan some of our materials so that scholars in Australia, for example, or in London can use our materials long distance.
In a way, even though the collections are housed in this building, they will be leaving here, reaching out to others, using technology many say will replace the written word. And the Rare Book and Special Collections Library can be reached on the web through the University of Illinois' homepage at www.uiuc.edu.